Good afternoon, everyone. This is Corey here for the Ankerstar Wealth Daily Update. I'll be your host for the show today. Today, we're going to look at a couple of news stories, a little bit of a market update, and we're going to talk some March Madness. Before I get started, I want to remind everyone that this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence before acting on anything you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found at ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and mine alone. All right, going to jump over to our presentation for today and going to start off with March Madness. So don't forget to get your brackets in, check your email. You should see that link, that invitation. March Madness starts on March 20th. So you've got about 2 days from hearing this to get those brackets in. My bracket is in. I'm going to give a shout out. We've got quite a few brackets already in. Brenton, Zach, Russ, Mike, Candace, Spencer, Wiley, Trisha, Marty. Those brackets are in. My bracket is in as well. I'm not going to give away any of my trade secrets, but I will share this. They showed the most picked champions currently among all the brackets that have been filled out. And most people have Duke as the runaway favorite. I can't really argue with Florida either. I do have a question about Duke, though. Is Cooper Flagg really going to be ready to take them all the way? I don't know. I also was surprised to see Alabama so low. Their offense is amazing. What do you think? You could throw a comment down there if you see a team that you think is missing that should be there, or a team that's there that shouldn't be. But get those brackets in, and we'll be doing some follow-ups on that in the coming days. I did see this. I couldn't skip this. Forever 21 expected to close all U.S. stores. Blame Shein and Temu for the demise. You know, Forever 21. It's just we all want to be Forever 21, right? But in this case, it wasn't quite forever, and maybe in all of our cases it won't be quite forever. This is interesting though. Shein and Temu also, that's some of the pressure you've seen on Amazon. There is some thesis out there that these other retailers could be a pressure point for even an Amazon. We'll have to see how that plays out. So along this line too, we did get one interesting piece of news today. Retail sales increased 0.2% in February compared to an estimate that was 0.6%. This is one of those kind of good news, bad news is good news, maybe kind of thing. So one way to think of this in a negative sense is retail sales did not increase as much as where it was anticipated. Maybe there's some softness coming into that, into the consumers in the country. The other way to think of it is, hey, this is kind of good. It's another indication that inflationary pressures are behind us now, and that we don't need to worry about inflation moving forward. Also, the next domino would be rates can have another kind of feather in their cap to be brought down. So we'll see how that plays out. It is an interesting piece of news for today. Okay, a little update going back to last week. Last week we mentioned, speaking about basketball, how the S&P 500 had bounced around this 5,600 level quite a few times, going all the way back to last summer. And on Friday, you saw a strong push back up to the 5,600 level, and it held throughout the whole day. Now today, we're seeing follow through and a close possibly up around 5,700 for the S&P 500 index. So this is good. I mean, this is a good development. If you're looking for capital appreciation right now, this is a signal that, and I put down there, oops, because sometimes you see this, right? You'll see something break through a level where it really had a lot of memory and volume traded in the past. And if it was an oops or a mistake, you'll see a quick snap back through that level. Is that what we've seen here? It's possible that's what we're seeing here. So if you're, again, if you're looking for the market to appreciate right now, then we might be, they all these V-shaped recoveries we've had these past few years. I mean, are we in for another one? We might be. I do want to say, so let's stay bullish all day today. These are markets from around the world hitting new 52-week highs, and you've got a lot of continents here: China, Germany, Chile, Africa. These indices hitting new highs, it shows that this bull market that we've been in for a few years now is expanding. I mean, it's broadening out globally at this point. Now, the United States stock market hasn't been appreciating this year, but it's not indicating that the bull market is over around the globe. A lot of times these global pressures can kind of force everything down. And if we're not seeing everything be pressed down, we might just be kind of consolidating here in the S&P 500 in the middle of a broader bull market globally. Let's hope that that's the case. Here's another bullish sign. European financials haven't done much in a very long time. They're hitting new highs today. European financials, I mean, I'm not, does anybody out there own a bunch of Deutsche Bank or something? Not me, but it's an indicator that, again, this bull market could be broadening globally. And if that is the case, what can kind of happen is, you'll see some strength, maybe some international strength, and then that strength will inevitably come back to United States equities as it's appropriate. And we've seen some softness, so there's room to push higher for sure before even hitting new highs in the S&P 500. Bringing that back home, here we have the XLF. Though this is the financial sector within the S&P 500. You can see this chart looks really healthy. Going back to November, you saw that election pop, and we've been consolidating since. So there are some nasty charts out there, but not in the financial space. And a lot of times you'll hear this saying that financials can lead markets higher and lead markets lower. If the market was really concerned about an economic slowdown, either at home or internationally, you would see that reflected in financials, in those stock prices. They wouldn't make as much money. There wouldn't be as much capital formation, so on and so on. So interesting stuff there. That's all I have today. And I want to say, get those brackets in. You heard the group. If you think you can compete with that group, then go ahead and get that bracket in. All right, that's all I have for you today. Have a good afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow.